The Texas 12-Pack, featuring the top 12 Texas country songs of the week. Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon on Uvalde Radio. The number one Texas country song of the week. As reported by the Texas Regional Radio Report. Uvalde Radio. Uvalde Radio.
It's UvaldeRadio.net. Robert Miguel here with you on the Texas 12-Pack, counting down the top 12 Texas country songs of the week, as reported by the Texas Regional Radio Report. And it's time for number one. And as luck would have it, I've got with me on the phone the holder of the number one position, Mr. Curtis Grimes. Hey.
What's going on, man?
Hey, congratulations, man. You got the number one song this week, and I gotta say, this is, if I'm not mistaken, your 10th number one on the Texas charts. Is that right?
Yes, sir, it is, and I appreciate you playing and spinning it to help us make that happen. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, so very cool. Now, the song is called River Road Dream, and let's go ahead and give us a quick backstory on, how you came along with the song, recording, and all that good stuff.
This was actually a song I wrote with Trent Willman. I was kind of talking to him about my days of living in San Marcos and going down to float the river instead of going to class, and I would just see these riverfront properties that were just beautiful, and then there would be some that kind of looked like they weren't maintained, and I was just thinking, these people pay a lot of money to not appreciate this spot. So I was just having the desire to one day own one of those and just come out there and appreciate it. And then we got kind of talking about how a lot of people have something like that or several things like that kind of are on the bucket list that you kind of put on the back burner as life comes along, and then you hope to reach the day where you can attain or achieve that thing. And so we kind of wrapped our head around that and wrote the song, and that's what we came up with.
Well, I mean, it's a fantastic song. It's kind of upbeat and a fun one. And also, in contrast to some of your more recent singles, I know you're a man of faith, and a lot of your songs have a very strong, reverence in them. And this is kind of more of an upbeat, more mainstream song, right?
Yes, sir. I kind of wanted to put out a fun, kind of up-tempo, 90s country, Alan Jackson feel kind of song. So that's the direction we went when we were in the studio producing it. But yes, everything I do these days is going to be more positive, family-friendly, faith-based, and this kind of fits that vein. This is just more of a fun, up-tempo summer song than some of the previous ones have been.
Well, man, like I said, you got a huge string of hits. I know you've been in the business for quite some time. This is something that I did not realize, but because I'm not really a big watcher of those kind of TV talent shows, but I didn't realize you got your start from The Voice. I know you probably told the story a million times, but for those who it's news to, give us a quick rundown on that experience.
Yeah, we were kind of bouncing around Texas, doing our Texas thing, probably 3 years before that. And then in 2011, I got the opportunity to go to Los Angeles and film The Voice, and that kind of opened up a bigger, platform for me, where we were able to kind of go national with some things. And obviously, I am from Texas, based out of Texas, play mostly in Texas, but it did allow us to go up to, all the way over to Maine. We regularly go up to Colorado, Montana, Wyoming, and play our music up there, and I kind of attribute a lot of that to the exposure that I got from doing The Voice. So I learned a lot, and it definitely opened up a lot of doors, so I'm thankful for it.
Well, man, you mentioned Alan Jackson earlier, and I know you've got a really cool traditional country sound. It's kind of like an Alan Jackson, George Strait kind of thing. Go ahead and give us your influences, man. Tell us how you got into the music business and kind of what nurtured that.
I did, man. I grew up on 90s country. Alan Jackson, George Strait, those guys were my first taste of, country radio. And that's just what the kind of music I enjoy and appreciate. And then the older I got, the kind of further I started going back and got into more of the Vern guys and Keith Whitley, George Jones stuff. Mm-hmm. So I would say now my music's kind of a hybrid of that. Then you throw in some gospel elements, and that's where I am.
Now, we got to talk about your faith again, because you do a lot of good gospel stuff. What's your testimony as far as that goes, as far as your Christian faith?
Well, for me, I grew up in the church. I got saved pretty young, 8 years old, and was very active in the youth group. And then kind of when I got into high school is when I started going to the weekend parties and backsliding and cutting up. And then when I got into college, it just kind of continued. And then when I started doing music, I started living a lifestyle that I thought you lived if you did music, and just kind of abandoned my faith there for a few years. And then I started having a lot of conviction for it, and that was the turning point for me, where I said, you know what, I've been blessed with this platform and this opportunity to reach and influence a lot of people, and I didn't feel like I was maximizing that for the glory of God and using it to share the gospel and tell people about Jesus. And so I kind of made a point to say that's what I was going to do from that point on, and if it worked, awesome. If not, then I would just do music for fun and go lead worship somewhere. But thankfully, I've been able to continue doing this and kind of incorporate all of that into what I'm doing these days. And it also allowed me the opportunity to start up a ministry where we go buy Bibles in bulk, and I have them there at my merch table every night, and we send some off with missionary groups and just kind of do whatever I can in every aspect.
Well, man, it sounds like you've got it all together. Obviously, it's working for you. God is blessing you. 10 number one songs in Texas. I know I had the pleasure of meeting you back at the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards last year, which unfortunately, obviously, they're postponed this time around. But I got to meet your wife, and she's lovely. How is that support system? I know you got some kids, probably got some crawling around with you right now. What is family life for you, and how does that work with your career?
Man, I would say my priority order is definitely faith, family, and then music third. So it's a very, very important part of the whole thing. And when I met you, actually, not long after that, we had a baby boy. So now I have a 2-year-old girl and a 6-month-old baby boy. And that kind of is a big consumes up most of my free time. And I've definitely started incorporating some of those aspects into my writing as well. And then I try to bring them out to as many shows as I can. I appreciate the opportunity I get to do the family-friendly stuff where they can come, and also where fans can bring their kids, because that's important to me. And to be honest with you, man, it was my mom was playing some of my older music, and she was telling me how she'd have to skip some songs for when she was playing it for my nephew at the time. And that really got me thinking about what I was saying in my songs, because I was thinking, well, if my kids can't listen and sing along to my songs, I probably shouldn't be recording stuff like that, to be honest with you. I don't know, that's had a big impact on that aspect as well. So everything's pretty clean, and I still, appreciate the traditional country sound. So that's what my music's always going to sound like. And then I have, some positive, clean lyrics to go along with it to where any audience can enjoy it. And it also opens up opportunities where I get to go play some church events and some youth rally type stuff. So yeah, man, it's opened up my audience in another area as well.
Well, man, you are obviously a man of principles and conviction, and I tell you what, it's just, what a fantastic story. So again, we're talking to Curtis Grimes here. He's got the number one song in Texas right now, River Road Dream. Let's talk about, the single records. What are your plans? Are you recording a full length? Are you kind of putting them out single at a time? I know the world's kind of crazy, especially right now with the COVID-19 going on, but what are the plans here in the future, I guess, for the release of music?
So right now we have 9 songs recorded, and we'll go in and cut 4 more early next year, and the goal would be to put out an album probably next August. Wow. So in the meantime, we're just bouncing out singles as fast as we can, because that's kind of where the consumer aspect of it is these days, is people just want something new, and then they want something else new. And you don't really get to maximize the life of an album anymore. So I'm thinking if we put out singles that are going to be on that album, and then when the album comes out, we get to use another 3 or 4 singles, and then we wind up using 3/4 of the album as singles. That's a lot better place to be than using 3 singles and then needing to put something new out. So that's kind of the approach we're taking, and it's working so far. And then at the end of the day, I'll still have a full-length album to promote and put out and release, and hopefully by then it'll kind of be a greatest hits compilation of our radio songs. So we'll see what happens, but that's where we're headed.
I love the way that sounds, because that's kind of the way they did it back in the day, even before, like, the 70s and 80s, way back in the day when basically an album was a collection of like 45s of singles. So, yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. Now, again, I mentioned earlier, we got COVID-19. I know you're a man of faith, so I'm sure that you're praying and doing all the right things in your community. How has it affected you and your career so far?
Obviously, the negative aspect of it is not being able to play shows or get on the road. But it's opened up some positives, too, whereas we've been able to dive into this Facebook Live stuff and live streaming, things that I was kind of, avoiding, to be honest with you, just because, I don't know, the social media and the internet stuff's not really my forte, but it's forced us into that position and to take advantage of another platform. So that's a plus. Also, another plus for me is I've been able to get a lot of work done around my house. We just got a new place in San Antonio not long ago, so I've been able to get all my landscaping done. I just built the fence. Pretty much got everything moved in and settled and tacked up. So that's been nice. And lastly, I've been able to spend Friday and Saturday nights at home with my babies and my wife, and I haven't done that much in a long time. So that's been nice. Hopefully it doesn't last a whole lot longer so we can get back to normalcy as we know it, and get back to playing shows. But until then, I'm just trying to keep a positive attitude and make the most of it and appreciate this lull, if you will, and just kind of slow down a little bit and enjoy some family time.
Well, now, if you don't mind a personal family question, how did you guys celebrate Easter? I mean, that was just this weekend. Did you guys do anything special? Was it, do you have a home church you normally visit that maybe they had to do some alternate kind of stuff?
We did online, and we watched we tuned into the Tony Evans service. He did an Easter special where he had video clips from actually going over to Israel, and had Kirk Franklin as the worship leader. So that's what we tuned in and watched, and then we had my wife's mother over for breakfast and kind of got up early and did the Easter egg thing and all that with the kids, and then we went over to my wife's grandmother's house. There were just, I think, about 7 or 8 of us there, so smaller gathering than usual. But we still had our Easter lunch and just kind of made the most of it in the safest way possible.
Well, man, it sounds like a great family time, again, for Easter Sunday. Curtis Grimes here on the phone, #1 song on the Texas Country Charts right now. Hey, you mentioned some live stream concerts. You got anything coming up this week you want to plug that we can find you online or something?
Man, to be completely honest with you, I have to go look at my calendar. I know I did a lot of them there back to back. It's kind of slowed down a little bit. Which, nice, because I don't want to just oversaturate it, You
Sure.
play 4 shows a week, you want people to watch all of them, but that's not realistically how it goes, because everybody else is doing it too. So we're trying to space them out and be smart about that aspect of it. And yeah, I try to keep them all posted on my social media throughout the week, but offhand, I'd have to go look.
Well, right on. Again, man, thank you so much, Curtis. It's been really cool talking to you, man, getting caught up, and hopefully everything the world will settle down, and everything will be fine, and I'll see you maybe September at the Texas Country Awards if you plan to go to that. But, man, thank you so much for taking a minute to talk to us about the hot new #1 song. And I got to say this again. If I'm not mistaken, did this thing get to #1 in 12 weeks? Is that right? Did I read that right?
Yes, sir. It was cruising. So we're very thankful for that, and also kind of parlayed at the same time that our Spotify streams were through the roof. So it's #1 on the Texas Music Picker chart this week also. So that was kind of a cool little double whammy we got to experience this week. So.
Well, man, thank you so much, and congratulations again for your 10th #1 song, and we're going to play it right now. Again, wrapping it up here with Mr. Curtis Grimes. Go find him on Facebook, follow social media, get in on one of those live stream concerts, and, of course, check out curtisgrimes.com. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you so much, all right?
All right, thank you, man. You have a great week.
All right, man. God bless. Here it is, River Road Dream, Curtis Grimes on the Texas 12-Pack on Uvalde Radio.
Donnie drives a truck working on pumps from Wimberley to Dallas. It's sure a lot of miles, but the pay outweighs the bad. Sarah takes shifts, saving her tips at the old 290 diner. Yeah, just to make rent takes every last nickel they have. On a Saturday night, they'll take a little drive to town. Sip on a long neck, listen to the band, and two-step around. It don't seem like much, just a drop in the bucket, but their eyes are on a waterfront lawn with a cabin and a cedarwood swing. Right now things are rough, but the thing that keeps them going is knowing for long they're gonna have their own little old river road dream. Most people pass that acre and a half and never even see it. Oh, it's hidden in mesquite and overgrown patch of weeds. But with sunburned sweat, a whole lot of love, and a Briggs and Stratton mower, yeah, they can both see the heaven it's gonna be. Now it don't seem like much, just a drop in the bucket, but their eyes are on a waterfront lawn with a cabin and a cedarwood swing. Right now things are rough, but the thing that keeps them going is knowing for long they're gonna have their own little old river road dream. Hey! No, it don't seem like much, just a drop in the bucket, but their eyes are on a waterfront lawn with a cabin and a cedarwood swing. Right now things are rough, but the thing that keeps them going is knowing for long they're gonna have their own little old river road dream. Good luck and God willing, they're gonna have their own